Hey guys, thanks for listening to The Cynical Nerd. Please keep in mind that we do not avoid spoilers for any of our topics, whether they are current or past media. Listen at your own risk. Oh, damn it.
That's like, I have like, you might be thinking, Chris Reed's top fears in life, fear of death. Sure, that's up there somewhere.
Right.
Fear of, yeah, it's maybe it's somewhere up there. But higher than fear of death is fear of running out of anything. It's not just like when it comes to beer, it's anything. If I'm like going to an event and I feel like beer is the easiest example.
Right.
If I'm sitting home at night, not even an event, and I look in the fridge and there's like 2 beers left, and I know that I'm going to want at least 3 to 4. My brain's like, you need another 6-pack.
You need another 6. Easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
Agreed.
Easy 6er.
Do you overpack? Like, are you a weird... I feel like probably not as much as I do. I have like an actual problem with it. We'll go somewhere for like the night and I'll bring like 6 boxers. Like, it's unbelievable.
Oh, no. So that's weird. I'm that way with material things that I could easily buy more of later, like
Right.
alcohol and toothpaste and stuff like that. But I'm not that way with clothes. If I go somewhere overnight, it's a 1 pair of underwear. I don't even, I'm a rebel. What if I shit my pants? Who cares?
Yeah, deal with it then.
Yeah, I've made this
Chris's problem.
I've made this bed of mud. Now I must lay in it. Thanks to our sponsor again this week, Monster Java. Dude,
Monster Java.
It's been a fucking Monday.
Had a rough one, eh?
Someone, the existential question looks like someone's got a case of the Mondays. That's been answered today with me. I have a case of the Mondays.
You do, yeah.
Today sucks.
Yeah, I had a pretty bad day too. I don't want to get in a bad day pissing competition with you. I'm just going to concede that yours was worse. I'm just going to let you have this one. I feel like
that makes me more angry.
You mean you're going down without a fight, you pussy?
Yeah, what are you, Soldier Boy now? Just calling everybody pussy?
I'm like riding. I'm like really. I did have a bad day at work, but now I'm like just high on life because literally 10 minutes ago, I beat Ludwig in the Old Hunters DLC.
Van Beethoven, right?
Van Beethoven, yeah. And I got the Moonlight Greatsword. And I don't know, I just got hard.
Erect?
Just very erect. So I've got like 4 more bosses in this game, and then I'm done. Taking a break from Souls-likes for a little while. Gonna move on to other shit.
I'm happy you're caught up. I'm not like, I don't want you to stop playing those games. I just didn't realize you still had anything left besides Bloodborne. So when you're like, oh, I'm cleaning up like Dark Souls 2 DLC, I'm like, forget it. You
a piece of me is like, but here's the fear that I have. A piece of me is like, why do I like? It's probably on the lower end of where I would scale all the games. Dark Souls 2, that is. So I'm like, why would I even care to go back and do the DLCs? But like, that's the whole reason that I started playing Bloodborne, and like just saying like fuck it with the whole FPS, the software issues. Is that it was just like this fucking thing, like a fucking latched onto the back of my brain, like, it's the only one you haven't played. You've played all of them except one, until finally I just went like, fuck! And I just caved and bought it, and it's been good. It's been a really good time. So, but yeah, time to branch it. It's not that I don't love this game type, and as I've said multiple times on the show, it's kind of reignited my love for games in general, but now I'm like, all right, I gotta play some other shit here. This has been like a solid 8 months that I've primarily been playing these games. So,
yeah, I feel you, fam. I feel you.
Yeah.
Ophelia Gray. That feels like a famous person's name. I don't know
Probably.
who it is. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I have like chicken nuggets left over to my right that I'm probably gonna eat at one point when you're giving thoughts on something.
Great.
It's been a day, but I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm gonna talk about the stuff we have to talk about. This week.
It's quite a few things, stuffs.
Quite a few thingies and stuffies. We have The Boys season 3 finale, the whole kit and caboodle. And then Derek and I had another mandate this weekend and saw Thor.
It's true, we did.
Love and Thunder, featuring Veronica and Samantha, but they were not the main focus. It was us.
Not at all. They were like a secondary feature of the entire thing.
at some point, I at a tender moment, I reached over and touched Derek's leg.
You
and
did.
pretended to,
It's not a joke.
not a joke. I was like, oh, well, whatever. This should be funny.
We're just playing gay chicken at this point.
Yeah,
I think that's what.
Oh, you touched my nose first. No, touch your nose first. Yeah, I haven't asked you at all what you thought about the movie. I know how you reacted in the theater to some parts and to other parts and to all the parts. And so I think I have an idea.
It was really hard, like to not say anything. That's the difficulty whenever, like, especially when we bring the girls and we go see a movie that we're covering on the pod.
Oh, right.
Because
the default is to congregate outside and talk about the movie you just saw.
But we can't, so we have to be like, bye, goodbye, bye, and just like part ways immediately as soon as we.
Oh, you gotta pee. So sad. We gotta go right away. So we can't stay.
And then not only that, we spent a good chunk of the day with each other. The following day, I'm like, all right, just don't bring up the Thor movie. But anyway, I think I know how you feel about it too.
Okay.
I can't wait to compare notes here.
Interesting. Let's just dive right into it. This is episode, oh my God, is this 75? I know 75. I say that out loud rhetorically, and you always say you don't know. It is 75, and today is a special day, ladies and gentlemen, because today's episode will conclude the Titanic trilogy.
Oh, yeah, shit, I forgot about that.
Unbeknownst to us, well, I think I mentioned it during the podcast. I might not have. I did mentally take note. But the last two thumbnails have both included the famous ship Titanic. This was not a plan. You'll remember last week's conversation. Titanic happens. What are you gonna do? Surprise iceberg. Sorry, it was a bad joke. I was trying to make it work. It didn't work, but that's okay. It started off with, what was it? The dude himself, the Big Lebowski, and he's much like Rose on the bow of the Titanic and just, living life. He's having a good time.
Yeah.
And then last week it was,
my favorite,
if you'll remember,
yet.
the super sad tragedy when the RMS Titanic slammed into the World Trade Center's RIP. I'm sorry, it feels very disrespectful.
I'm hearing some ding and I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna ignore it.
Oh, cool. Make sure your hard drive's not out of space.
Hey, that's actually a good idea. Let's look into that real quick.
Let me go double check.
Now we're good.
Yeah, so it kind of happened just naturally. And where do we go from here? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Some point today, some point during this conversation.
I feel like it's got to be a plane crashing into an iceberg. I mean, what else do you do? Where else do you go?
Oh no! I wish I was a super talented artist. I would have an airliner broken in half at the bottom of the sea and make it look like the Titanic, all like the sea life has overtaken it. Anyway, let's talk about real shit that is happening in the real world. Real shit. Speaking of Souls games, off to the races with my segues today. From Software has done what I would just call a legendary PR move. There is a very famous situation that, as often happens with Souls games, the community is the lifeblood of those games. And there was a situation with Elden Ring where a player in the community started to stand out amongst his peers. He went by the tag, "Let me solo her," and he would appear to players in front of Melania, who was considered one of the toughest bosses in the game, obviously asking to solo the character, and would kill her for other people because everyone was having such a tough time with her. Especially when they unintentionally buffed her and made her heal when she rolled or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. So From Software connected with this person. His name was Klein Suboy. I'm probably butchering the last name.
Almost certainly.
Yeah. Klein is the first name, though. They reached out to him and they sent him a little fun box. They sent him a fucking sword. And they sent him a commemorative note. A letter from them, a congratulations, on your great accomplishment from the Bandai Namco team. Just very, very cool of a developer to see that happening in the community, recognize it as something that should be celebrated, and rightly so. It's the kind of thing that keeps the game community going, and to reward it like that. And the blade is Pretty badass looking sword. This is Rise tarnished on the edge. Like, that's sick.
Yeah. No, it is really cool. And like something like it's weird. Sometimes like game companies will do this, like big mega corporations, and people have this like negative thing where they
I can do it subtly, right?
Yeah. To catch me off guard, so I forget what I'm saying. Now, and people like, real like cynically here on the Cynical Nerd, they'll say like, "Oh, well, this is just a PR move," and it's like, yeah, of course it is, but it's an awesome PR move. So who gives a shit? I mean, it's brings the community closer together. Just like the guy did through kind of helping other players. I think that he lost to Melania like 300 times before he started, before he
something
beat her
ridiculous.
the first time. Yeah. So yeah, warms my little heart, my little heartsy heart,
my little hoity-hoit.
Hoity-hoit.
Okay, this next one's a cool one. I would like to introduce this story by introing how I brought it up to you.
Okay.
So in Hawkeye, they introduced a new character. Her name was Echo.
Mm-hmm.
And this character is a comic book character. She has some pretty famous storylines in the Daredevil kind of, what would I call it? Microcosm of Hell's Kitchen in that area of New York City. And she was played by, I think, first-time actor on the show. I'm gonna butcher the name so bad. I'm gonna find it though. Oh no, I lost you.
Yeah.
Oh, what had happened?
I don't know.
Did it actually black out? Or did you turn it off?
It froze, and then when fucking Christ, now it's not like reactivating. What the fuck, dude?
This thing hates you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be stopping my conversation.
Yeah, do your thing. You go.
So you do your thing. Alaqua Cox is her name. She's a native.
Say that one more time.
Alaqua. Tell me if I'm wrong. It's ALAQUA.
Wait,
Alaqua.
It sounded like you said Alaqua Cox first.
Alaqua Cox. Her last name is Cox.
Oh. Well, that just sounds like I like Cox. I have to be honest with you. I don't want to be insensitive here, but
why is she all of a sudden a villain in an Austin Powers movie? This is Dixie Normus, and this is Alaqua Cox.
Well, I hate to tell you, pal. I might not have a camera for this whole thing. I don't know what's going on here.
For the whole thing, I mean, I can talk to a black screen.
All right, great.
I'm good at talking to nothing.
I'm gonna take my clothes off then. This is great. This works great for me.
It's a little like voyeuristic that like you can see me and I can't see you. It makes me nervous.
You feel
a little
weird
bit.
right now?
Yeah,
I feel like I'm in power.
He could be doing anything right now.
It's very erotic.
On the other side of that black screen. Different USB port, maybe? But I'll keep talking. She came out in her breakout role of Maya Lopez / Echo in the Hawkeye show. She is a deaf superhero. She's actually also missing a limb. I think it's an amputee. I'm not sure if it was like an accident. I don't know that much about her, unfortunately. But they announced when Hawkeye came out that Echo was going to have her own show on Disney. And look, not for nothing, I'm sure that she's a good actor and will make for an interesting character, but we don't know anything about that character beyond the story that was introed to us in Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of weird that she was just going to be getting her own show. And hey, if you, this is the way I introed it to Derek. If you're going to make people care about a brand new character that they've never heard of, how would you do it? And then I sent him this article, and two of our very favorite people are coming back for the Echo show. Charlie Cox as Daredevil himself, and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. So D'Onofrio, we already knew was probably coming back. Yeah. He was in Hawkeye. They have a very sordid history. You get some of that background in the show. Kingpin had her father killed, as he's known to do. And we know Charlie Cox came back as Daredevil in Spider-Man, but there had not been an official word for him. So I'm very excited about this just because I've been waiting for him to come back as Daredevil. Yeah, how do you
is he not like, I know we had gotten some kind of announcement that they were coming back however long ago that was, like a month or two ago, but is this like the extent to which they're coming back? is Daredevil getting his own show again? That's what I was wondering, because it's kind of a bummer if it's just going to be like he is a guest star on another character show who, frankly, I don't really care about a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they really confirmed or denied one way or the other.
So this is an article by the Hollywood Reporter, and we've talked about them before. They basically what they print is gospel. They don't print things that are going on in Hollywood unless they're true.
Mm-hmm.
Their track record is stellar. They are not a rumor mill. They confirm with inside sources before they anyway. I say all that because this article said something interesting that I don't think I had heard confirmation of before. And I'll actually read this little section verbatim. When D'Onofrio was revealed to be the big bad in Hawkeye days before No Way Home hit theaters, in the months since Disney Plus moved Daredevil and other Netflix shows to the service, which we knew, and ordered a new Daredevil series, which would technically be its 4th season. So they're saying that Daredevil's been ordered for a 4th season, but I haven't seen confirmation of that anywhere else.
Right.
But because it's in the Hollywood Reporter, I believe it.
Yeah.
Blindly?
Well, I believe you blindly, so there's like by proxy, I also believe them blindly.
That's nice.
I have Ron hitting me with the like tech assist right now, but I don't think it's happening. I think we're just.
How would it just take it? I don't understand.
I have no.
Dump out.
Wait.
I don't know why I stopped talking because
No, I got nothing, man. I have no idea. This is weird.
You could leave the Zoom meeting and come back, just don't stop recording. Maybe that would help. I don't know.
Let's try.
Yeah, we could try that. He's trying that. I'm going to keep talking like an asshole. Anyway, so that would lead me to believe, if that's true, that Charlie Cox is going to be coming back, and we're going to be seeing some more of him, not only in Echo, but in his own show. And that just makes me all kinds of excited. I mean, you know, talked about it before, but Derek and I both agreed we love Charlie Cox Daredevil, so I'm super
love that Cox
about it. Love that Cox.
Yeah,
I don't see you still.
That's
okay.
Happening. Yeah, we're just gonna do this one. We're gonna do this one audio only on my end.
That's okay. That's okay. Now, so here's the question: do I black my screen out so we're even, or do you want to just look?
No,
at
I like the sort of power trip that I have over you right now, that I can see what you're doing and you can't see what I'm doing.
Oh,
I'm gonna throw in like weird grunts and like slurps every now and then. Like you're gonna be in the middle of a thought, and I'm just gonna like. Just to throw you off.
Don't like that.
Just kidding.
Okay, but yeah, we're stoked about this. Yeah. I think equally. I mean, look.
No, I am. It'll be cool to just see them, regardless of whether it's like he's the centerpiece or not. It'll be cool to see them on screen again.
I'd really hope they give him a different costume, because I was not a super huge fan of that costume. It doesn't look great
in retrospect. Yeah.
Has not aged well. It's got that real like CW plus feel.
Yeah.
Like a couple grades above CW costumes.
Right.
Anyway, moving on. Have you ever just wanted to stick it to Disney? Because if you did, you got your wish last week.
It's true.
A hacker took over. I'm only bringing this up because it's funny. Took over Disneyland's Instagram, and they were throwing some shade at some random guy named Jerome. The posts were actually super. Hang on, no jokes here. No laughter here, sorry. Some of the shit was super racist.
Extremely racist, yeah.
Not cool. Like, they're doing it just for the shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to get clout by saying bad words on the fucking social media platforms. Like, you're not cool. You're obviously, like, somewhere between 16 and 21 to be doing shit like that and thinking you're funny. Anyway, this guy is referring to himself as a super hacker, and like basically saying, I'm like, my name is Jerome. He was claiming to seek revenge on a Disneyland employee who supposedly had mocked his small penis.
Yeah. And he was like,
oh god,
this is for tiny dick havers everywhere, or whatever the hell he said.
Dude, it's just some fucking basement troll who was having the time of their lives. I don't know if they figured out who it was, but they got control of the accounts back within an hour. But it didn't matter because the damage was done. I had done it just in our chat alone, like several screenshots of these like reels and tweets and shit that he was just plastering the fucking internet with. My my advice to all you would-be hackers out there is keep doing that because it's funny.
It's really
but maybe
funny.
just don't be fucking racist
No
about
N-words,
it. Like what's that about?
Yeah, no N-words. The hacking multi-mega corporations is hilarious and just making them
fuck
look
them.
bad. But
Right.
maybe just like ixnay on the N-words. Just leave that out next time. I agree. That's a good diagram to follow.
Yeah. 100.
Yeah.
This next article is literally like a public service announcement. And I say it because I got it and I'm happy with it. If you pay for Amazon Prime, which I think a lot of people do.
Right.
Sorry, not Prime. If you pay, is it Prime?
I think it's Prime. Yeah.
Oh, because it's Prime Video they actually call it Prime Video, not just Prime.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay for Amazon Prime, the super expensive, like $120, $130 a year charge to get free or expedited shipping or much cheaper shipping, Prime Video, all that shit that comes with it. They just added a new perk because Amazon's buying everything. They're becoming Costco from Idiocracy.
Yeah.
And they purchased, they bought GrubHub. And so now if you have Amazon Prime, you get a year of GrubHub Plus for free. And what that does is it's just like deliveries are free. They give you like certain food items off for free. If you know anything about those food delivery services, not only do they mark up individual items to make money on them, but then they charge a delivery fee.
Yeah.
And then you still got to tip the fucking driver.
Yeah.
And then there's
you
like
gotta
service
suck their
fees.
Dick. You have to suck their dick.
Yeah.
It has to be good too. You have to make them come. It's not even like you can just like put your mouth on it for a second and then stop. You have to like really put effort into it. Like just the right amount of spit. It can't be too sloppy or they'll get mad because then they have to get like paper towels and just sort of clean the thighs. And It can't be like not enough spit because then it's just like grating across the top. They can feel sort of your taste buds on the roof of your mouth. Nobody wants to feel a palate just dragging across the roof of their cock. So you really have to find this balance. It's too much. It's way too much. I'm sorry, you were saying?
Excellent dismount. Oh, fuck. That was it. That's all we got for that. I had like this, you painted this vivid image, unfortunately, in my head of,
that's the beauty of having this blank canvas. Like your imagination, you just apply it to it. It's beautiful.
I don't like it. They just walk up and they have like a little buzzer and like they put down like those little gardening pads for old people's knees, aka my knees, because my knees hurt all the time. They drop a pad and unzip their pants, and before you can get that food, and you better get it quick because we all know soggy McDonald's is bad McDonald's.
Yeah, no.
You got to go to town and you got to really put your all into it. And they have all the power, much like Derek.
Soggy
they have all
McDonald
the power
is
in
what
this
they
situation.
call you too. It's very demeaning.
Soggy McDonald's. Now get the fuck out of here, soggy sacks. They as you start to go to town, they pull out this little portable buzzer and they put it on top of your head. And if you did a good job, they pat it and you get your food. And if you didn't, then you just gave head to a fat guy in his 30s and you lose your Sloppy McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, Sloppy McDonald's. That's the name of it. It's called the Sloppy
I
McDonald's.
feel like episode 75, Sloppy McDonald's. That's it.
There we go. Episode 75, Sloppy McDonald's. It's almost a slant rhyme with Ronald McDonald. It's not, but it's got the same mouthfeel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's also what the Uber driver said.
This is a great mouthfeel you've got here.
Do you like watching cooking shows?
Like sometimes, yes and no. But the word mouthfeel, I hate so much. I hate it. It like turns me inside out.
I got more with you. What about unctuous?
Unctuous?
Yeah, unctuous. You never heard anybody call it something unctuous?
No.
Okay. Well, that died quickly, huh?
Will you define unctuous for me?
What's the way you describe something? Unctuous is like a certain like flavor or I think it's a flavor. And now you're questioning me. It's the way people use to describe food in certain situations. Like here, I'm looking it up because I got the internet in front of me.
I feel like people who say unctuous though are the same people who say alas, like it's like the 1600s or something. It's like, we get it. You're trying to sound smart. No need for those words.
Oh, it's having a greasy feel. So okay. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Can you imagine eating sloppy McDonald's and being like, this is quite unctuous?
I was thinking of umami. Okay. Which umami like does like literally
a food though, isn't it?
No, it's it is, well, yeah, it is a food, but it's also something people use to describe certain types of flavor, a category of taste in food besides sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, corresponding to the flavor of glutamates, especially monosodium glutamate.
That cleared up nothing for me whatsoever. I'm so glad you.
What is umami? It's one of the 5 key taste profiles. It's found naturally in seaweed, miso, kimchi, soy sauce, oyster sauce, dried shiitake mushrooms, and Parmesan cheese. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, let's move the fuck on. We're going to do trailers, but I did want to... We're cruising, bro. We're cruising through this. But I did want to shill for just a sec. And by shill, I mean facebook.com/thecynicalnerd. You can check us out on Twitter and TikTok at The Cynical Nerd. Last week, I didn't put the video episode up because he was having some camera problems, and we're not going to do it this week either. But I promise you, we'll get it sorted. I promise you. Either by beating his camera to death with something heavy or getting a new one, because hopefully they'll just send you a replacement. Yeah. Did you order it through Amazon or through them directly?
Amazon.
Oh, because that's why you pay for Prime, baby.
I don't know if I kept the box. That's the heart. That's like the.
It doesn't matter.
Chest pain I'm having right now.
Does it? I don't know.
I'll figure it out.
I might have my box.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, that would be great.
Maybe.
And then you'll give me yours, and then yours will break down. That's what's going to happen.
Wouldn't be a bad... No, your other webcam worked fine. It can't be the fucking computer. Anyway, we have trailers to talk about.
Let's talk about
Believe it or not. Believe it or not, we have trailers. The first one includes all of the Teenage Mutant Turtles. Damn it, I missed a word. Okay, moving on. I don't like this first one. Can we just skip it?
No, I don't want to. I want to talk about it.
I don't. Okay. There's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film coming out. You might be very excited because oh my god, that sounds amazing. But it's an animated film called Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie. It's coming out on Netflix. And I don't. They redesigned everything.
Yeah.
All the turtles look different and weird. Do me a favor. So if I say like Raphael's the angry one all the time, and I said, how would you draw an angry person? And you went, I draw an angry person big because he's mad. And then I said, Donatello's a smart guy. How would you draw him? And he goes, I put glasses on him and make him small because he's dumb and smart and whatever. I don't know what kind of idiot voice I'm trying to do, but you get the point. I'm not a big fan of the redesign. That's where I land on this.
Neither am I. You know what's funny? A couple weeks ago, I had seen that on Netflix. This was a TV show that was very short lived and got canceled because it got terrible reviews.
Did it?
Yeah, like really bad. It has some good voice acting talent in it too, which I can remember none of their names. But the fellow who did Sonic is, I believe, Leo.
I didn't even hear him because I hated it so much. And
that show is rated poorly because it's a bad show. It has like just this constant tongue-in-cheek humor. It's a cartoon. I'm not saying it has to be like super serious, but there's like nothing. They're just injecting jokes every fucking 5 seconds. It's nonstop, and the jokes aren't good.
Wait, we're not talking about Love and Thunder yet.
Yeah. All right. So I gotta tell you though, this trailer for the movie, I watched I think maybe an episode and a half before I was like, no, this isn't for me. The redesigns don't bother me as much. You can't do the same fucking idea again and again and again and again and again. So I understand like kind of revamping it. The animation in this looks kind of cool. If they can ditch like the just awful humor, could be a good time. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But the show is bad. Like I almost want you to watch the first episode so you can see what I mean. It's 20 minutes of your life. It's not.
But I'll
good.
never get back.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know if I can.
Well, then don't. You know.
I told you something last night, which is that I decided to. I don't know why I'm doing this in the middle of trailers, but I decided to get caught up on Miss Marvel, seeing if it would get any better.
Right.
Because there's 6 episodes total, and so the 5 are out now, and 6. I think the last one comes out Wednesday.
Yeah.
They're not better.
Yeah. I didn't think they would be. It didn't surprise me at all when you said that.
No, surprise, they're not better. The same feelings I had about the first 2 episodes are true for the rest of the show so far. Her using her powers is almost always pretty neat to watch.
Yeah.
That's kind of about it. I find most of the characters somewhat annoying.
They're unbearable. Yeah.
Cool. They travel a bit. They travel overseas, and that's pretty cool looking. Mm-hmm. The penultimate episode was an entire flashback that didn't include Ms. Marvel herself until like halfway through, which I thought was really strange. But they set up this lovely little story about like a time loop almost. Mm-hmm. Hard to describe without giving everything away. Won't do that right now. Yeah. Won't do it. What I'm saying is if you were curious about how Ms. Marvel was doing after the first 2 episodes we watched, it's the same. So if you watched the first one and the second one and you liked them, then you'll like the show. And if you didn't, then I don't know why you're doing it to yourself, because your name's not Chris Reed and you don't have to bear the burdens that I do. You know?
I do intend to watch it like when I have time, you know, like when I'm like caught up on all my shows and I'm just like, what am I going to do with the next 2 hours? I'll just bang it out. But
it's not the worst thing. It is just like some of the dialogue is cringy.
Very.
Yeah, it's just I think the show thinks that it has more charm than it actually does. Yeah. There's like a symptom. I don't know. I've kind of been fuzzy on who the bad guy was.
Right.
Or is. There's like the big like bad stuff.
The creators, the people who made you watch it, are the real villain.
Yeah, they held me down and opened my eyes with those little tweezers like in A Clockwork Orange. But okay, back to trailers, what we're supposed to be talking about. So this is a funny one because we again went to go see Love and Thunder over the weekend, and yes, with and without lube, because once you do it once, you don't need lube the second time. Sorry, gross. This trailer played in front of the film, probably because it's a Christian Bale movie. Mm-hmm. I don't see any other reason. I mean, it's 20th Century Fox, but it's a film called Amsterdam from David O. Russell. Comes out in November 2022. This film was like a who's who of Hollywood.
Yeah.
There were so many famous people in here, and I mean, from really great actors to Taylor Swift.
Whatever that category is.
And, you know, back again. I don't know. It looks really interesting. I don't know what to say about it because I don't really know what the fuck is going on. It looks like there's like a trio of people that get framed for a murder that they didn't commit, and they're just trying to prove their innocence.
Seems like it's based on true events or true-ish events. I think that it actually markets it as most of the things in this movie are true. I love that honesty. I don't know. Remember back in the day, like you'd be watching like, I don't know, The Exorcist, and it's like based on a true story. And then you find out that like one thing that happened in the movie was actually accurate to real life. I love the honesty with them saying like, yeah, we took some liberties, so it was a little more interesting.
Yeah.
It is a fun looking movie. It looks like it has a good attitude about it. It's very charming. It's very, I don't know. It looks good.
Yeah, you're watching the movie and you're like, Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, Chris Rock. Like you just keep there's names and names and names and names and names.
Knives Out, like everybody and their mom is in it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Anya Taylor, what's her name?
Joy.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
You know what's weird about her? Her name is actually
Malek.
Pronounced Anya Taylor-Joy. I refuse to say that. I won't do it.
Yeah, it's Anna. Rami Malek, like all these people, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, Robert De Niro.
Oh yeah, like 60% of the way through the trailer too. Oh, by the way, this guy's in it too.
Yeah. Timothy Olyphant coming back, line himself up at the glory hole again. I mean, you know, it's just like a who's who of people. But yeah, like you said, the trailer was really fun. It had that like, it's gonna be a caper feel to it. And as you said, like literally halfway through the trailer, a lot of this actually happened pops up on the screen.
That's what it was.
And it comes out this year. I'm probably gonna watch it. I mean, I don't know if we'll review it. I just thought sometimes we stray from our usual reviews, but it looks like a good time, right?
It does, quite. I'm sorry, my dog is like jumping on my lap for some reason right now. I can't figure out why. I feel like he thinks like I have a gun and I'm about to rob a bank and only he can stop me, but I'm not about to do that. What's up, buddy?
I feel like
Billy down.
I feel like it's 100% what's about to happen though, right?
It's true.
So we're just on a headset while you rub it back. Is that why you turn the camera off? I get it. I get it. No
you hear
evidence.
me panting earlier. It's because I'm running, I swear.
Gross. Something gross about that. I don't know what it is. All right, moving on. Next trailer. Viola Davis.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not the Suicide Squad. She's not playing Amanda Waller. She's playing the Woman King.
Mm-hmm.
September 16th. I didn't know this movie was coming out. I'm going to read the synopsis just so you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm going to mispronounce things, okay? And I'm talking regions, probably people.
Right.
I'm sorry. I
Just
can't help it.
sometimes.
Okay. I was born with this alabaster complexion. I'm sorry. That doesn't betray knowledge. I just don't know how to pronounce it. The Woman King is the remarkable story of the here's the first one. Ajoji.
I feel like that's it.
I'll go with Ajoji because it sounds cool.
Yeah.
The all-female unit of warriors who protected the African kingdom of Dahomey in the 1800s with skills and a fierceness unlike anything the world had ever seen. Inspired by true events, there we go again. The Woman King follows the emotionally epic journey of General Naniska, who's being played by Viola Davis, as she trains the next generation of recruits and readies them for the battle against an enemy determined to destroy their way of life. Which, spoiler alert, anything happening in the 18th and 19th century involving conquest, it's the British.
Mm-hmm. The British.
Oh no, they got him. And by him, I mean the entire continent of Africa. Most of the surrounding territories. This trailer is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's really, like, if nothing else, it's fucking beautiful to look at, right? Like, I mean, the cinematography, the sets, the lighting, the, like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like, color palette is all, like, very, it's just very, I don't know, like, cutting edge. There's something just really visually appealing about it.
It's really cool.
And watching Viola Davis, I don't know if it's Viola or Viola, but she is just wonderful. She is just great to watch her act. My God.
She's a monstrous honey.
Whoa, God. Oh, fly just flew into my nose. Sorry. But yes, monstrous honey, you were saying. I agree. Yes.
Monstrous honita.
Honita.
That's how you say it in Spanish. Right. Obviously. On this audio only version of the Cynical Nerd podcast, I'll be here to pronounce Spanish words for you this week. Your next Spanish word is naguito, as in I would like another chicky naguito, please. Por favor.
You should do the video version, but just take my video feed from a previous episode and put it over and see how it syncs up like Dark Side of the Moon.
If I had anywhere near the amount of time I would need to do it, I would find various stills of you and animate a mouth on it. Not animate, Photoshop a mouth onto it. In various states of like closed and open and and just
like Tim and
just have a GIF that
Tom Goes to Mayor.
Exactly, and just have a GIF that rotates between them as we watch. Okay. So Paper Girls, I totally forgot to watch the trailer before we started recording today. So did you have anything you wanted to say about it? Because I'm an asshole.
Can I just tell you? No.
Tell me.
No, I don't have anything to say about it.
Oh no, it's not good.
Other than I was like, why is this in here?
Oh no.
I was like, I'll talk about it. I'll do it. But it was, there's not much to say. It's a time travel story. Some little girls see like a Stranger Things storm, and then they go to the future and they meet up with their adult versions of themselves, and they're trying to go back to their time. Very original.
I hate this for you.
Yeah. So, Paper Girls on Amazon Prime. Not all okay.
I think that's their tagline.
Yeah. Paper Girls. Hey, we tried.
Yeah. Paper Girls. It's hard to make movies. Okay. This next one is actually a tweet, but the tweet contains a brief clippy clip. So we might have talked about this a long time ago, and I'm gonna probably fuck this guy's name up, but Gendy or Gendy, probably Gendy Tartakovsky.
Yeah, sure,
Tartakovsky. He made a series called Primal. And Primal focuses on this like it's prehistoric times, the cavemen, and cavemen happen to exist at the same time as dinosaurs. Don't think too deeply into it. But this dinosaur and this caveman, they befriend each other, and that sounds like a really nice little story. Except for the animation and the show is breathtakingly beautiful, and there's a ton of gore and violence. It's like I don't know how to describe it besides like raw. It's just like this like holy fucking shit. The love and attention to detail they put in here, the style with which it's animated. I watched the first season just while like doing other things because it's so fucking beautiful. It tells a silent story for the most part. The protagonist will talk.
Yeah. I didn't watch it. I always meant to, just to interrupt you briefly. Genndy Tartakovsky is the guy who did Samurai Jack. A lot of that was nonverbal. He also did, I think it was just called Clone Wars, which kind of got overshadowed by like, it was just a like regular animation Clone Wars.
It was the movie, right?
No, I think it was a short season. It was like a 10-episode seaon of like.
Oh, right.
And then like the Clone Wars, the like 3D animated one came out, and that just sort of overshadowed Tartakovsky's or however you say his last name.
Sure. Remember what I said earlier.
So yeah, that one. So if you ever watched, I have wanted to watch Primal. I forgot about it until you put this here, and that reminded me. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch season 1 now.
Yeah.
If you ever watched Samurai Jack as a kid and you thought, as an adult, this would be cool to see an adult version of this. It sounds like that's what Primal is. Has that same kind of like nonverbal storytelling with, like you said, beautiful animation. I can't fucking wait. Like I said, I totally forgot about this show, so I can't wait to watch season 1.
Yeah, it's a good time, and it's also just so goddamn beautiful. It's like what's the word I would say? Mesmerizing. That's like you can't like I tried to do this thing because they don't talk a whole lot, where I would just like play a game and have it on, but because they don't talk, you can't look away. You can't be doing something else. But it's just such a fucking gorgeous show. I'm excited for you to watch it. I didn't realize you hadn't seen it. Fucking baller. All right, the next 3 before we do our main topics are all video game related. Vidya games. The first one is based on everyone's favorite cop. No, I'm not talking about Scruff McGruff. I'm talking about RoboCop.
Chicago.
Well, Scruff McGruff was a detective. Holy shit, my guy. You just rattled that off?
Chicago, Illinois, 60652. It's like in my brain forever. It's never going anywhere. I'll be like 90 years old, and like I'll forget my own name, but I will remember the Scruff McGruff rhyme. Oh,
I'm sad we don't have video now. That would have been the TikTok clip. 60692. I don't.
60652. 60652.
There you go. That's fantastic. He's technically a detective, though, right? I mean, he's still a cop, but we wouldn't call him a cop now, would we?
Right. PI.
All right. So there is a new game announcement that happened for RoboCop. It's called RoboCop Rogue
And help
City.
take a bite out of crime. I forgot the most important part. Sorry, continue.
It's called RoboCop Rogue City, and I can't tell if it's just like an open world like RPG with RoboCop in it, but I can tell you that they revealed gameplay of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if you ever wanted like a dystopian set in the 80s kind of Blade Runner-y to an extent looking world, or at least like this feels like the world that could turn into Blade Runner, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Almost. And you wanted to play as RoboCop, who is, let's face it, like he basically created to be a video game protagonist.
Yeah.
Like he's already he's got armor plating on. There's no video game excuses needed for why he can die and come back. He can be rebuilt. You know what I mean? Like
he has guns in his legs.
He's got a targeting system. He's got a fucking HUD already. Anyway,
I don't know if they showed enough of this to really set, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of quick little snippets of gameplay, like of the actual
FPS. Right.
So like I don't know, I can't really say one way or the other. I also really hope like anytime they explore RoboCop, like I know they just did a remake, not just that was like 6 or 7 years ago, but they did like a movie remake, and apparently it had none of the like satirical undertones that the original had. which was like a criticism of the police. Surprise.
Joel Kinnaman in the RoboCop remake.
Was that him? Really?
Rick Flag. Hell yeah.
Was it? I never watched it. I never watched it because I heard it was just sort of a summer blockbuster. Good. It doesn't have like, again, the political undertones, whatever.
No, it wasn't good, and it's a shame because I've always liked him as an actor. Yeah. So
I didn't realize that. That kind of makes me want to watch it. But despite knowing it'll be bad. But yeah. So hopefully, like, though that's kind of included in the game. I don't know, but yeah, nothing was really shown enough of the gameplay for me really to say one way or the other it's going to be good or it's going to be bad. It did, the aesthetic remind me of Cyberpunk 2077. But maybe now that's just the most common sort of Cyberpunk game, that's just going to be the case for the next like 10 years. Like how everybody compared everything to Skyrim for like 8 years. Maybe that's what Cyberpunk is.
You want to hear the worst insult you could give a movie?
Yeah.
Here's the critic consensus for the RoboCop 2014 movie. While it's far better than it could have been, Jose Padilla's RoboCop remake fails to offer a significant improvement over the original. While it's far better than it could have been. Right. Well, you didn't completely shit the bed. Yeah, it's just not noteworthy. It's got like a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes, about the same for the audience score. Seems everybody was kind of in agreement.
Right.
It's just meh. Yeah. It didn't need to exist. The suit looks dumb, you know.
The suit looked dumb. That's what turned me off about it initially.
Yeah, like whereas the original RoboCop suit is like basically timeless. Like I know it was from the 80s, but it's so iconic and it doesn't look old still to me, really. The new one looks like early 2000s.
A screenshot of its time.
Yeah. I don't like it. This game looks cool. I think they didn't show too much gameplay because it doesn't come out until next year, so it's almost a full year away from now. It comes out in June 2023, and it's going to be next gen only, baby. PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and they say Nintendo Switch. I don't know how that's going to work.
Not sure about that one.
We're going to get into that territory where like all the Switch ports look like they just shaved 1 million polygons off the models, off all the models. I said that correctly.
I was just going to say, like, it's nice to, there's a certain point whenever you're moving into a new console generation that you have to leave the old console generation behind. So when initially you said it's next gen only, I got excited because a lot of times you end up like, you leave one foot in both ponds. And so like the people who have newer gear end up suffering for people who did not put in the time to get newer gear.
Right.
But then you said that it's also going to be on Switch. So that point goes out the window.
Yeah, guys, listen, just so what Derek is saying is that sometimes, just like in real life, it's impossible to be inclusive of everybody. And really, you should cut off the stragglers to make it better for the whole.
Yeah. Spend all your money. Don't pay rent. Get a PS5 or an Xbox, whatever the fuck it's called. That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I keep forgetting that the new PlayStation tiers for the PlayStation Plus are out, and I need to hook my fucking PlayStation up, sign back up, and start playing some fucking games that I wanted to play, like Returnal. I want to go play Returnal.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here at night, and I'm like, do I want to go grind out some more animal parts?
Now, baby.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Do I want to go grind out some animal parts with my anthropomorphic animals, who I'm pretty sure are trying to get me to fuck them? Or do I want to... Or,
are you enjoying Monster Hunter? I feel like you might be.
I was going to talk about it later. I figured we didn't have a third main topic, so I had things to discuss about games we've been playing. So I'll save it for then.
Okay.
But yes, but I'm unsure. Well, whatever. I'll save it. I got it. I got points. I got things to bring up.
Put that shit in your pocket.
Speaking of Robits from the 90s, Terminator has a new game coming. I shit you not. They revealed a RoboCop and a Terminator game in the same week. This is just a tease for the future because it's only like 30 seconds long, but there is going to be a survival game set in the Terminator universe. Look, it just says coming to PC and consoles in the distant. It literally says distant future. That's how far off it probably is. We're probably talking about 3-4 years.
Yeah.
As long as you don't play as the Terminator, which would defeat the entire purpose, because spoiler alert, they don't need food or water. if you were playing as like a survivor in the apocalypse and the Terminators were a threat that you had to hide from periodically,
rather than
that
fight.
could be kind of cool.
That could be awesome.
If they were the boogeyman, you know?
That's what that's like what I was thinking, kind of like Alien Isolation, but Terminator Isolation could be a cool formula.
The bogeyman. He'll get your bogies.
Hide your bogies.
Hide your bogies. Hide your wife. They terminating everybody out here. I made that work.
I have to play Alien Isolation still. I want to, but it just makes me so scared.
I want to go back and play it on VR. I think I've mentioned this. I used to think that idea was completely laughable, but I used to stream Isolation itself in the dark. Like I know you can see me, I can't see you, so I would just turn everything out like this,
right?
And play Alien Isolation. And I got a couple great clips of me just being a scared bitch, and obviously, it did nothing but stress me the fuck out. But it was funny, and the game's fun to play. And when you have people there, it makes it fun. If I was playing to an empty chat, it wouldn't be fun, but I had people there. I'm probably gonna go back to it.
Fuck, that sounds like a good idea.
That's it. Okay, moving on. Speaking of going back to things, holy shit! This game, we talked about this game last week. We said that there were rumors that it was coming out. We talked about how we thought they would be stupid to release it. Well, when they're releasing it.
Right.
They revealed for the first time a gameplay trailer for Skull and Bones, which is the Ubisoft pirate game that we just talked about last week. There's a little bit of a cinematic trailer here in the beginning, and then they kind of just show you around the game for like 15 minutes about how you customize your ships, how you do missions, how your fucking pirates do. And I gotta say, looks like an Ubisoft game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest with you. I mean,
I think it looks cool.
Yeah?
I really do. I don't know. It seems like you have like these hub towns where you like buy shit for your ship, and
hub town.
You have different ships where you can like, well, do you want a quick ship so that you can outrun any people who attack you? But if you get hit, you're going to go down. Do you want a cargo ship that can hold a lot of different gear, but it's not very offensive? Do you want a super offensive and defensive ship, but it doesn't hold a lot of cargo? Do you want to look cool? That's always an important one.
Very important. The most important, some would say.
What it comes down to, though, is like how well they're actually going to deliver on what they promise, which is something that Ubisoft is like notoriously terrible at. And whenever a game has been in development for 10 years? Something like that. Like 8 to
Not
10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time, though.
That is never a good sign. That's there's no reason it should take that long with the amount of resources that you have. Which says something's not right here. But I got to tell you, like, I just skimmed the video because it was an hour and a half long. But from what I saw, I thought it looked cool. If they can be executed properly, I think it's pretty neat. This is obviously, as the case with any Ubisoft game, however you say it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big old wait for reviews before I commit. But yeah, I mean, what they showcased looked kind of cool. I got to be honest.
You know what it is? It's because it's been so long, and all this looks like to me is just an extended standalone sailing game where like they took the chunk from Black Flag and like fleshed it out a little bit, and that's basically what it's supposed to be. But it's just like, why did it take this long? Yeah. What's wrong with it? I need to know. What have you done?
Yeah. But honestly, I just elect that we have another night. We get the boys together and play Sea of Thieves.
I agree. A good
one.
Sea of Thieves. All right. We're moving on to main topics.
Well, let's talk about video games since we're already talking about video games.
So why don't we hang on, Derek? Don't jump to main topics yet. Why don't we talk about video games? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, I've been playing Monster Hunter Rise.
Right.
I pulled a Phil. For those of you who know Phil. For those of you who don't, wonderful man. Little gung-ho on game purchasing sometimes. Although I wasn't around for the famous story of Old Republic.
Oh,
but anyway,
where we were sort of talking about maybe playing Old Republic, and he bought a year's worth of subscription to it. Is that what you're referring to?
every time you tell that story, I laugh as if it sounds too incredible.
And
to
then
believe.
every single one of us were like, "We don't want to play it. We were just talking about it."
painful. That's painful.
Yeah, it was a good time.
But yeah, you had mentioned you said like a couple nights in a row, like fellas having a blast playing Monster Hunter Rise. You didn't ask anybody to get it. Nothing like that. But much like a thoughtful lover, I can say that with a straight face. I was like, you know what? Maybe cool if I just scooped it up. Maybe it'd be fun to play together. Maybe I'll just also enjoy it. So I played World a little bit briefly. Yeah. So I know that Monster Hunter is a bloated carcass of subsystems. I'm aware of that, and I knew that coming into this game. It does not help though. Like having that knowledge, if you're on the fence about Monster Hunter games, being like, okay, I think I know what's coming. You don't remember just how many cutscenes and tutorials there are, and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules, and I hit the ground running. It didn't make sense not to live for fun. But yeah, so I mean, they don't like literally. I would be like, okay, I'm out of the tutorials. I'm running around town. They told me where to go. I have a marker. I'm going to this place. And I'd be like, I get there, and they'd be like, hey, what's up? Hi, 3 tutorials. Here you go. They're for you. And then you'd be like, cool, I'm done. I must be done, right? And then it's like 3, like they just keep. I'm still encountering tutorials every time you're out.
Like the first hour is where they're the most concentrated, and it is absurd. Like every step you take, there's like a 6-page tutorial.
Every step you take.
But yeah, after it opens up, you still get them, but it's not getting in your way quite as much.
Every move you make. Yeah. So you were kind of talking up the gameplay loop. You were like, well, there's a lot of shit in this game. There's a lot of stuff on the peripherals, but there's just like the base gameplay loop of, I want cooler gear. Here's cooler gear and the things I need to kill to make it. Let me go kill it and make it.
Yeah.
And just like repeating. That is fun. And that's why I've been playing and just kind of trying to build my way up through the quests. I think I'm on level 3 quests now or something, like 3-star quests or something. And you know, I grinded out 2 sets of armor so far. It's fun, but my concern is it's hard for me to see how this gameplay loop will continue to be fun.
Yeah.
For as long as the game goes on, like unless something happens to like alter combat up, I just like the combat's fun, but I feel like it's decently complex depending on the weapon you choose. I have a fairly simple weapon. I went with a bow, so maybe I'll change the weapon up or something, but I feel like I just kind of know most of the moves already, and that's not 100% true. I looked up a guide on bows. 1 or 2 special moves do come later with like certain pieces of gear that you need or whatever. But there's not much more than what I've seen already. So I just don't see how in 25 hours, I'm still going to care about grinding out another set of armor. I'm like, well, I just ground out like 20 sets of armor already. Like, what am I doing in my life?
And that's fair. And so basically, like, it is kind of like a meme of both this and World, where like, it's a game that holds your attention for about 20 to 30 hours. And then you're just like, all right, I think I'm done. And then you sort of just come back every couple months for a week or two. And it's like, so there's like longevity in that, like you want to come back to it. That's how it was with World for a long time. Like, I think the first like 2 months that it was out, I really played it extensively. And then like ever since then, up until literally like, I don't know, 6 months ago, I would go back and play it every now and then. But it's like, it does get a little bit more complex. Like there are certain sets that, like the drops don't come from just, killing the monsters. Like some of them you have to cut, like any monster with like a huge tail, you can sever their tail and then you can, loot their tail to get like extra stuff. There's like traps that you can do to get certain of their body parts, like their dicks, that you don't get if you just kill them. There's like different game modes. I don't know if you got to I think they're called rampages. It's basically a tower defense where like these hordes of enemies will come over the walls, and as you kill them, you get points to create like turrets or like bombs that they can trigger and stuff. It's really, really, really fun.
Haven't done that yet, but I have heard them reference Rampage a couple times.
Yeah, so it's not at all that it doesn't get stale, but it's just always to me like, this is why I didn't actually ask anyone to buy it, because I get the criticisms of it. It does get old after a while, because it's like it's the same thing. It's the same place that I get to with WoW eventually, where I'm like, am I just gonna keep doing shit to get better shit to do shit to get better shit to do shit to get better shit like that? Eventually, it's a great point. Like, I don't know. It just gets old. But for a while, it's a blast. So I don't mind having a blast for a little while and then just sort of letting my interest fade in it. But I'm still loving it. I actually beat like the base game, but it's one of those games that has like 9 trick endings where it's like, you're done. Just kidding.
Are you?
So I got to the first like hurdle of quote unquote, because I can't just do air quotes because I don't have a video feed right now.
Oh, true.
I got to the first ending, quote unquote. So anyway, I hope we'll continue to play together. I had a really good time the other night.
Yeah, it was fun. It was it was
much better. It's a lot more fun multiplayer too, is the other thing.
Oh yes, it was much more fun. Mucho gusto. I think that's sure. What else am I playing? So I'm still signing into V Rising and farming occasionally, but not much because we're stocked up on basically everything to make you guys the next set, and then we got to go kill more bosses and rinse and repeat. I just installed a game called Deliver Us the Moon, and it's a science fiction. It looks like an RPG, but it's not. It looks like a nori. A nori. I just said nori. Okay. Woo. Tired. A story-driven narrative. It's more based around the story and like solving puzzles and figuring shit out. It's just like the science fiction experience where you're like a lone astronaut on the. I think you're a lone astronaut on the moon, trying to like make shit work. Like basically like all my dreams come true. We've talked about this, and I meant to bring it up at some point during the podcast. So because we're just about to do main topics, now's a good time. And I almost brought it up end of last week. I think I said I would carry it on. I've been on this crazy sci-fi kick lately, and sci-fi has always been a huge love of mine. But you wax and wane from genre to genre, just to keep things fresh in your life. And I've been on this huge sci-fi drive. So not only, and we've discussed this ad nauseum before, but not only am I listening to the audiobooks for The Expanse, which I'm still completely engrossed in. I'm in book 6 right now. I am starting to finally see some differences between the show and the books because the show was at this point starting to try and wrap things up. And that's been wonderful. It's been awesome. I can't wait to get to the end of that series. I also started watching For All Mankind, which I think I talked about on here, which is an awesome alternate kind of future show about space travel that feels like one big like Apollo 13 movie with all the emotional stakes and nerve-wracking maneuvers of space travel and death-defying shit, and you're like, oh my god. And then there's a bunch of really touching stuff on Earth, so I've been watching that. Yeah. Caught up completely. Watching them as they air now, which I can't stand.
Like a total sucker.
Worst fate in the fucking universe is to have to watch things week to week as it airs. I don't know how my parents did it for all those years. And on top of that, I'm like, I'm looking through the Audible bookstore, and Andy Weir released a new novel last year. Andy Weir's the author who wrote The Martian, the famous Matt Damon movie. He released a new book last year. I don't know how I missed the announcement, called Project Hail Mary. And the synopsis for the book, I was like, sold. Fucking sold. And the synopsis was something along the lines of, and I'm going to butcher this, but it was like a teacher who's basically like trained as an astronaut. Think of like, I was going to say think Challenger, but terrible analogy because that ship didn't make it. Yeah. R.I.P.
Didn't get very far.
Teacher trained as an astronaut wakes up out of cryo sleep with amnesia. And there was three astronauts, this teacher being one of them. Ryland Grace, I don't know if it's a he or she, but
should the thumbnail be the Challenger crashing into an iceberg?
Oh no. Well, This is gonna sound like I'm making a joke, and I'm not. It would just be an explosion. Like there was nothing of the ship. You know what I mean? Like I could go find a pre-launch picture of the Challenger, I guess. Like if you look up Challenger explosion, it's just a big fireball in the sky. You know what I mean? There's no like. Anyway, R.I.P. I was actually just talking about them at work today for some reason. It blew up like a year before I was born. It's crazy to think that. Anywho. And apparently is on some kind of super critical mission to like the humankind's survival future. I don't know what's going on. Use your imagination. But this guy doesn't remember. Like, you know, his two buddy astronauts died in cryo sleep. I don't know if malfunctioning pods or something. So he's alone on the ship in deep space to do this mission to try and it's like humanity's last ditch effort, and he doesn't fucking remember what he's supposed to be doing. And apparently it starts to come back to him in equations and memories and all kinds of stuff. And some kind of unlikely companion, who knows, ship AI maybe. But I was like, okay, sold, bought it.
Yeah.
So I got that, and I'm just stacking the deck, bro. I fucking, it's everywhere.
Stack it up, baby.
And then I read about Deliver Us Mars, which is a sequel coming out to Deliver Us the Moon next year. And I was like, that looks cool. And I was like, I remember hearing about Deliver Us the Moon, but I always thought like it might not be my cup of tea. And it might not be, but I got it for like $10 and it's got great reviews. So I'm going to check it out.
Tight pussy shit. I'm just playing Bloodborne, like I said. And now I'm on this CRPG kick. Like I go through those every now and then. So I reinstalled Pillars of Eternity. A lot of reading. It's a great game to just get blisteringly high to and just get absorbed in. So that's it. That's my video. That's my vidya wrapped up.
That's my vidya wrapped up nice and neat with a bow tie. I don't know why I said it like
All right, let's talk about The Boys. Let's do it. I want to talk about
hang on. Wait. Speaking of space, did you see the first image released by the James Webb telescope?
I did. Yeah, it's like the what do you call, but even cooler. What was the one that
there's another famous shot of like a whole bunch of galaxies,
deep field or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, something. And that this is basically like hold my beer for that image. Yeah. It's very cool incredible looking, and they're going to be releasing a ton more tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. That kind of shit's really cool, and I'm can't wait. It's so cool to I said cool like 8 times in that sentence. Sorry. It's so neat. How's that? To think that like when these telescopes are looking as far as they can in the unit, they're literally like traveling back in time, like because of how slow light travels to us. There was some neat fact that like if we could somehow have a telescope strong enough to look like 65 million light years and like see a planet's surface, it would be like if they were looking at Earth that way and they were still seeing dinosaurs. And I was like, that's fucking rad. Anyway, that's why I love space.
Well, what's really neat about the way they position these things, I was reading about this, not with this one, but with was it Hubble? Right. Was it the last like really big one? Was that the Hubble? I don't know. But anyway, what they do is they like position them so that they are looking at basically like tightly clustered star systems or galaxies, because they call it gravitational lensing. The light from other galaxies is pulled so strongly through because, the massive bodies are so much closer together that there's so much gravity between them that it pulls the light from further away between those. I don't know. It's just cool the way they do it. What's interesting about this picture is like, if you look at the outside, it looks like you're looking at, the galaxies head on. And as you get closer to the center of the picture, it sort of looks like they're swirling, like almost like it was caught in motion. You see how on the outside they look sort of still. Yeah. And then this is bad without a visual medium. This is a podcast.
It's okay. Just think of stars in the sky. You're right on the same page.
But anyway, it's very cool. It's very interesting.
It's very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, that's interesting. It's a gorgeous shot, and it's really, really fucking neat if you pull it up on your desktop, because you can zoom in on some of these and they look fake. Yeah. Like they look like galaxies that people draw in comic books, because that's, it's fucking incredible. Anyway, space nerd time over. So main topics, The Boys season 3 finale. I'd like you to go first. I feel like I've been talking a lot. Sure. How much did you love it? Is the only question I have.
I really loved it, and there's a lot of controversy about this episode. A lot of people are saying they were underwhelmed by it.
Really?
And yeah, like
were you underwhelmed?
No, not even remotely.
Me either.
I thought it was excellent.
Okay.
I thought it was. There was a couple things I would have done differently, and I do have some concerns for season 4 and the rest of the show in general. But overall, it was great. I think that we saw the episode started off with some really heavy hitting scenes, like emotionally, as far as like Jensen Ackles. I knew he was hot, and I would love to suck his dick. I had no idea that he was such a good actor. And that scene where he's talking
he did a great job.
Remember when he's talking about his dad and how like he was a disappointment to his dad? Veronica and I were like, fuck, dude, like this guy can act. Like, that was like palpable. That was a very, very good scene.
And then when he delivered that juicy rebuke to Homelander along the same lines.
Oh yeah.
He's like, you're just like me.
Yeah. There was the scene with Frenchie and MM where Frenchie basically like said to
I have it written down,
like,
bro.
Yeah, it's excellent. Where he's just saying like, just let your daughter see you for who you are, the good and the bad. Excellent scene. Walks off and get back on the fucking Lexapro was a great way to just like put a little bow on the end of that. Again, great acting from the fellow who plays MM. He's like tearing up throughout that whole conversation.
That was really good.
So like the setup, the sort of emotional payoff to some of the stuff that we're seeing the side characters go through the season was very, very well done. And then of course the ultimate showdown at the end. People are criticizing. Now let me touch on this first. The part that you're talking about where Jensen Ackles, Soldier Boy goes up to Homelander and he puts his hand and he's like, maybe you wouldn't have been such a sniveling fucking pussy if I had raised you. And it was just like, I was like literally cheering out loud. Yeah. And then he says, but I'm you. And he goes, exactly. You're a fucking disappointment, which is, of course, a reflection of what he was saying his father said about him earlier in the episode. Just a great little, like, I don't know, full circle moment.
It was great.
The thing that people are saying is unrealistic is that Butcher in the last moment decided to protect Ryan over his prime directive of stopping Homelander. And I'm like, did we watch the same show? Because there was an entire episode dedicated to him watching his little brother get the shit kicked out of him and then ultimately feeling responsible for his suicide. And we've seen him for this entire show being unable to stand watching the little guy get picked on by the big guy. I mean, that's literally what he's doing. He doesn't like that soups have power over non-soups. That's his whole drive for his character.
Yeah, so literally like the tagline for his character Bible in the writer's room. Like that's him.
Yeah. Like I just don't understand. I'm like, people are like, oh, why he wouldn't sacrifice his wife's kid just to get what he wanted. It's like, yeah, no, he wouldn't. That's why he's taking a liking to Huey, because he's so easy to push around, I guess. I don't know. I just don't get what the issue is. Here's ultimately what I really love about the show, and it's what I've loved about the show from the beginning. And it's Homelander. He's the greatest antagonist. He's just...
Dude.
I want to preface this by saying I am not one of these people that's missing the point of the show. I'm not like, oh, Homelander's actually a good guy deep in there. That's not what I'm saying.
No, he's not.
But he's a piece of shit. But he's relatable, and that's what makes a good villain. When you have a villain who's just all evil all the time, it's comic booky. Like, oh, I'm gonna blow up the world with my blow up the world machine. It's just like, who can take that seriously? Nobody. So like, you have these moments where you know he's a fucking dirtbag, but there's just these certain things that you can empathize with. There's the part where Soldier Boy hits Ryan and knocks him on the ground, and all of his nemesis are in the room with him. All the people in the world who like want him dead and could feasibly kill him are in the room with him, and he fucking turns his back on them, gets down on the ground, and reassures his son. Are you okay, buddy? I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, wait, this is the bad guy. Like, what's happening right now?
Dude, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay. The reason The Boys is currently it's my favorite show on TV right now. Like, I've been like fucking with that phrase in my head. Like, oh, am I brave enough to say that? No, it's hands down. It's my favorite show on TV.
I think it is mine too.
At the moment. And it's because not only is every character so well written, but because the bad guy is so well written. Like, the crux of a good show is if the characters are relatable. And 9 out of 10 times in superhero shows, that means you have a somewhat relatable protagonist and a completely unrelatable bad guy because he just wants some bullshit nefarious thing, like you said. And Homelander's not that. He's fucked up. He's a piece of shit. He's a narcissist. He's got daddy and mommy issues. Yeah. He's worried about his view, his public image. He'll do whatever he has to keep that. He's a bad fucking person, but he also is a person. He's not just like this 2D caricature of a bad guy. And the best, holy shit, Anthony Starr did such an incredible job this episode. The best way to sum up his character was how they opened the fucking show, where Homelander gives this amazingly heartfelt speech to his son about how he's not angry at him for what he did to his mother and how it's not his fault. And of course, we know that there are underlying tones to this conversation because we know that when Homelander says, sometimes when you're as strong as us, accidents happen, and I know more than anyone else, we know when he says that, he means I killed a whole plane full of people because I couldn't save them and it'd make me look bad. But to his son, to his innocent son, all he got out of that was loving assurance from his father.
Yeah.
And it was such a heartbreaking scene, dude. I was instantly crying. I know I'm a big bitch. I would disappoint Soldier Boy, but like, I fucking, dude, it's Anthony Starr, right? That's his name?
Anthony Starr. Yeah.
He's fucking phenomenal. We've been singing his praises for 3 seasons now, but this episode is incredible.
Well, that's what people are saying. Like they should have turned on him and Homelander should have died this episode. I'm like, there is no show. There's no The Boys without Homelander. People really thought that
The Boys.
People really thought that they were going to kill him off and Soldier Boy was going to be the new Antag. Like, have you ever watched a show before? Like,
yeah.
Are you an idiot? I don't understand what the issue is.
He's an incredibly acted and incredibly written character. And it's not just
even when Soldier Boy goes up to him and like initially is like, what does he say? You wouldn't have been such a sniveling pussy. And there's this look on his face. He's like, wait, what?
Defeated.
This isn't like, how I thought this was going to go. He's like, the scene opens up with him watching the old Soldier Boy movies and like with like this pride. And it's like, dude, he just does it so fucking well.
He was waiting for his dad to come and he thought he was going to get what he always wanted. And I saw some people saying like, oh, Homelander used like the look at your grandson card to try and sway Soldier Boy. And he did, but it wasn't, I don't think he had a malicious beat in him. He was like, look, we're a family now. Yeah. I have your grandson here. We can be something together. And it's not only the speech to his son in the beginning that he fucking murdered this episode. It was the conversation with Black Noir when he was talking about whether or not he knew about Soldier Boy and when he ultimately kills him. And because you know that Homelander has a lot of love for Black Noir. Yeah. He's always considered Black Noir like his silent soldier. He's always just done whatever he's supposed to do. He's a good team player. And he was like, did you know? And I wish I had 1/10 of the acting skill of Anthony Starr. He's like, did you know? And he's so disappointed.
Yeah.
That Black Noir says yes, and he's like crying as he kills Black Noir because he doesn't want to do it, but he feels like I have to kill you now.
Which brings
because
me
I can't
to
let this stand.
One of my only criticisms of the show was that the whole season they built it up that Black Noir was going to have some chance to get back.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't happen. And honestly, like that aspect of it, if you really reflect on the whole season and like how, like what Black Noir went through and the order of events and what they were building up to, that was straight up, in my opinion, bad writing to have him. I feel like they could have had the same thing. I feel like that scene could have gone the same way, except Homelander goes, you know what? All right, I forgive you in whatever way they wrote it. And then Black Noir is with him at the final showdown, and Black Noir goes to attack Soldier Boy, and Homelander chooses to kill his friend Black Noir over Soldier Boy, who he doesn't know is about to betray him. Then everything works out better. Black Noir gets his chance at revenge. Maybe he even like almost kills Soldier Boy, and then Homelander kills him, choosing his dad, or you know what I mean? Like it could have been written so much better. But to just have him just like die in a room, like in the conference room, was like, ugh, like really. here's my only my last
scene,
criticism is this. What's that?
It's a well acted scene.
Oh, incredible acting. Yeah, it was great. The writing is what I didn't like about it. My last point to make about this episode, and it's the one thing I'm worried about, is I'm concerned that this show is going to be afraid to kill off its characters. You had this awesome self-sack with Maeve. Like, it was beautiful. Like, it made me tear up when Soldier Boy goes nuclear and she drops him out the window. It even zooms in on her face and she like closes her eyes and like accepts her fate. Like, it was such a beautiful fucking scene. And then she's just alive. And
just
like
human.
Yeah, she's human. She doesn't have her powers anymore, but still, I just think she should have died. I think it would have been more meaningful if she had. I think so. The whole crew is filming in Brazil right now, and the actor who plays Black Noir is there. So I have this fear that they're gonna find a way to res him, and it's kind of like, is any death or any self-sacrifice or is any of it gonna have any weight whatsoever? Or are we just going to go the Marvel route and just keep bringing people back when they die?
Can I spoil something for you?
What? No. What? Under what context? Like,
well, it's something the director said publicly.
Then no. Yeah, please.
Okay. He basically alluded to, like, he's like, yeah, but like multiple people can wear the same costume. As if like they were just going to stick somebody else in the Black Noir suit.
Oh, so right. Like to cover up the fact that he was dead to the public.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know if that's true or what. But you know, we'll see.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I'm going to go through my notepad list here. And also, I was okay with Maeve being alive, but I think that was the line for me. Like, if they do it again, don't do it one more time. I'll rub your nose in it. That was the line. Like, to me, she was basically showing Butcher the way out. She's like, look, you have to let go of your anger. Like, you have to do the right thing and stop tunnel visioning on Homelander. And if you can do that, if you can finally let go of that rage, you're gonna do something good. And that was the message I got, because she knows. She turns to him, and then she's alive, and now she's back with her partner, and she's human, but she's out of it. She's done. She's hopefully goes off to fuck off land and lives a happy life. But if that shit keeps happening, I mean, A-Train was done pretty fucking interestingly, because now he's got the heart of somebody he can't stand inside of him. I also have a note about his conversation with his brother, because that was great.
Yeah. That scene was incredible. Oh my god.
I have a note written down. So I'm gonna go through my notes. So first, we already did this. Homelander's awesome speech to his son. Again, what you said earlier, Frenchie and MM. We're all fucked up, but you're also great, and you have to let her see all of it. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was such a good fucking speech. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna inform the ways in which I teach my son things in life. I just quoted Soldier Boy here. Where is that little cum guzzler? He's such a bag of shit, but I would love to have a group chat with him. You know what I mean? Like, he would just spit gold every other day. You'd have to weed through all the horrible racist shit, but A-Train's brother didn't want Blue Hawk dead was one of my notes, and that scene was so fucking good, where A-Train's like, I did this for you.
Yeah.
Like, I killed him. And he's like, I didn't want him to fucking die. I wanted him to come to justice, be behind bars, serve his time. He's like, you did this for you. The same reason you do everything that you do. It's all about yourself. And I was like, holy shit, I didn't expect that reaction.
Yeah. And he's like, get out of my house. I don't want my kids seeing a murderer. I was like, holy shit. Yeah.
It was wonderful writing.
Yeah.
Super duper good. Homelander's breakdown to Black Noir. You should have told me. We already talked about that, but I also wrote down the fucking animated animals that came up to him when he was dying were so incredibly sad.
Yeah.
They were like, we're so proud of you. And then they're like fading away in the reflection of his, oh God.
Yeah.
So sad. Soldier Boy calling Homelander weak. We talked about that. Then I wrote, Kamiko is so hot. dancing to Maniac.
Yeah.
That was a fun scene.
It was.
And then I said, Maeve, oh shit, she's still alive. And then I said, oh fucking no way. Killing that dude at the end. And Ryan's smirk on his face. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode. Of course, we didn't talk about it yet, but in something that I would say is a political satire almost, because it immediately made me think of when Trump said his famous, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, yeah. and I would go up in the polls. And I mean, this, like, if they didn't directly reference that when making this, then they did it subconsciously, because I mean,
yeah,
you know, he comes out, there's someone calls him a fascist or something, throws something, hits Ryan, which obviously we know is a big no-no, because Homelander goes berserk whenever his family is threatened. And he blows a guy's head up. And then we have, I don't know why I hate his face so much. Oh, wait, yes, I do, because he's a piece of shit. The stepdad
Todd
of MM's
and
daughter.
His name's Todd.
Oh, fucking
piece of shit.
He's just sitting there. He just starts going carnal. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, gets the whole crowd going. I fucking hate his face, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of commentary in that scene.
Yeah.
I think he literally landed and was like, "You are the reason America is great," or some shit like that. And I was like, "Ooh."
Oh, they've been doing that since season 2. Oh fuck, what was the line? He was at like some political thing, like showing him in Stormfront. He's like, "We are gonna make America really good again," or something like that. Like it was like 2 degrees off.
You're like, "Oh no, why?" Anyway, okay, that's The Boys season 3 finale. Honestly, it's just a fucking incredible show. If you haven't watched it, you're doing yourself a disservice by listening to us.
And people said the ending had no risk and there was no change. I'm like, all right, well, Butcher's dying. Ryan is now the guy that he wanted to protect with the bad guy.
And enjoying himself.
Enjoying it. Yeah, exactly.
Little masochist.
Like, what? I don't know. I don't understand how people...
Everything is fucked up.
Yeah.
Now, the only thing, and I ended up being okay with it. I don't know how you feel about it. We talked earlier in the season about Huey and the path he was going down with Butcher. And they backtracked. They pulled him out of it. They didn't let him spiral all the way down. And it's not that he wasn't going to. It's that Starlight stopped it. She literally said, "I'll save him even if he doesn't want me to." And, told him about him going to die. Oh, actually, sorry, Butcher saved him. Yeah. Knocking him out, really. That's what saved him from taking that V and going on the mission with him. And I just wasn't sure how you felt about it. Like, I know originally we were like, no, I feel like he has to go down that road. But now he's pulled back. He's still with Starlight. You okay with that?
Look, I don't care for Starlight and Huey. I don't. Like, I just think that their arcs are boring. And it's one of those things, like, when you have a show, you have a cast of characters. And the reason you have a cast of characters is that they all have to appeal to, like, some demographic. So not every character in the show is going to be for you. So I'm not saying that they're poorly written, but they're just not for me. It's just too like cheesy. Like I think Butcher's way of, and it's not that I think they all need to be grim and dark and angry and do what it takes, because obviously I was just applauding the fact that in the end Butcher did the right thing. I feel like that was good writing. That was interesting writing for him to, they show again, we knew something happened with his brother and his dad. Now we know what. He has like a sort of stick up for the underdog complex type thing that he sort of let go of this season because he had his eyes on the prize. And in the last moment, he did the right thing. It's almost like, I guess Huey kind of did the same thing, but it's the way he talks. I don't know. he's so like, I just want to eat ice cream sandwiches with you for my life. It's just so corny. Like, I don't know. I just don't like the love story. The two of them, just every time they're on screen, it just, I don't know. I can't do it. Her part where she did like what Veronica referred to as the Dr. Manhattan thing was not impressive to me. Like, I just didn't find that to be as like it. No. When she raises up in the air with all like and absorbs all the power, it's like, cool. Yeah. She's going to do something awesome. And then she just sort of like knocks Soldier Boy over and he gets up again. And it's like, what was all that build up for? Like, all he did was like push him over. I just didn't understand that. I don't know.
I didn't hate it only because, like, what else was she gonna do? You know what I mean? Like, we already know that, like, his powers are, like, an order of magnitude away from her. Like, she controls light and can, like, I don't know, do light power stuff. Like, sure, she can knock people around and, I don't know, to me, I was like, I thought that moment, watching Huey make the correct decision, I felt good. It was like, I don't know. It made me feel good on the inside, is what I'm saying. It gave me the tingles and the jingles.
The tingly jinglies.
Yeah. All right, before we get into our final thing, there's one thing I had wanted to mention earlier in the episode and did not, and that is that there's a series coming out called Light and Magic, coming out on Disney Plus, and it's about industrial light and magic. It's going to be 6 episodes. It's like a documentary type thing of the early days of ILM. It comes out July 27th. I'm going to be watching it because I find that shit infinitely interesting.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is light and magic?
Industrial Light and Magic, ILM.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
You don't. That's like the studio that does all the crazy special effects for like Star Wars and was founded actually by Lucas himself, which is an interesting story. Because he's basically saying, when I went to make Star Wars and I needed like, miniatures, and it's where Adam Savage worked when he was in the film industry.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, when I went to make Star Wars and like I needed a bunch of miniatures and props shot and built and all that shit, and like to figure out how we're gonna do the Death Star explosion. He's like, that place didn't exist.
Yeah.
So
I just made it.
I just made it. And there's a trailer out. I forgot to put it in the doc. Shame on me. We'll talk about it next week. But it was just a really cool look at like they really were just skin of their teeth, like just figuring out how to get this shit done. And it's I just find that kind of behind the scenes stuff, especially with special effects.
Yeah.
And back in the day when they were doing all practical shit, I find that stuff very interesting. I'll shoot you the trailer later. Anyway,
shoot me with it. Hit me with it.
When Derek and I weren't balls deep in each other on Saturday, we saw a couple snippets of a movie called Thor: Love and Thunder, and we're going to talk about it right now.
This instant.
Okay. I want you to give me. I want us each to do like a 30-second synopsis of our feelings, so we can break the ice, and then we'll go into details. So I'll go first. It was okay. Some things made me laugh really hard. Some things were very cringy to me. I kept saying people call it like Ragnarok Light, which I inevitably kept thinking of because I had read it before I saw the movie. I don't know about Ragnarok Light. It just felt Ragnarok adjacent to me. It just felt like they were like, this worked, so let's do this tone again. And I didn't hate Jane Foster coming back. I actually loved Natalie Portman in this movie. The whole cancer arc thing. I mean, it felt a little rushed to me because there was a lot of story going on. But it was okay. That's basically where I'm at with it. Like I wasn't like madly in love with it. There were a couple bits in here that I'm going to rave about later that I thought were genius from a comedy perspective. But I had the same criticisms of this that I did of Ragnarok, because basically where I'll fall with it is that every once in a while there was a moment that I felt was undercut by their incessant need to tell jokes at every corner. But I had a good time.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
Control C, Control V. That is exactly how I felt about this movie. Exactly how I felt about it. It was, there were parts of it that I really liked. I don't think I did like the Natalie Portman. I feel like it was too rushed. I felt like her lines were like bad and cringy. I felt like they were just trying to, it was just too many jokes. It was like they were trying, how many jokes can we fit into one scene? Like that was their question. Like, and then whatever that number was, it's like take one of them to do twice as much. It was like constant. And it's like, if you're not taking yourself seriously, I can't possibly take you seriously. He usually balances drama and comedy very well, and I just don't think that he did with this one.
I wish I knew you when Ragnarok came out.
I liked Ragnarok. I don't think that it suffered from, I understand that it had a lot of tongue-in-cheek shit, but I felt like the moments that were dramatic, that you needed to be dramatic, they let those moments sit. It wasn't like constantly being broken up by these little like moments. Like Natalie Portman's whole thing with like, oh, I'm trying to find my line. And like these jokes, like they were meant to fall on their face. Like that was sort of the point, but they fell on their face, like not in the way they intended. Like it was just like, how much are we going to keep doing this cringy gimmick? Like, oh my God. It didn't do everything wrong. And I didn't think it was bad. It was just like, okay. Like it was very mid to me. I think that the costume designs in general were like very good. The aesthetic was very good. I think Christian Bale was a great villain. He
was surprisingly good.
I'm upset that that's his only movie, obviously, because he's dead now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could have really fleshed him out and made him into something very, very interesting. But he was creepy. Like, but again, like I just feel like I wasn't properly introduced to him. Everything was rushed.
Yeah, it felt very quick.
The one thing I'll say about it is this. One thing it did so well is when they were in the Shadow Realm or whatever the fuck it was called, and they were fighting on that tiny little moon planet.
Oh, it was so fun.
It was awesome. Like the lighting of that. I remember the first time I saw Man of Steel and like the way that the actions played out there, I was like, this is what superhero fight scenes should look like. It's so like fast paced and heavy hitting, and there's like this fucking gravity behind everything. And like every superhero movie since then, like for the most part, has failed to do that. And that scene made me feel that same way I felt of Man of Steel. Like when I think of gods battling it out on a planet, this is what I envision. This kind of high paced, but it's not like hard to follow. It was all very like, coherent. But so that was like incredible. But yeah, like overall, like I just kind of was like, I wanted to like it because, Take is always, he's charming, but it was like, it laid that tongue-in-cheek shit on way too thick. This is my least favorite of his movies. Like this is one of his first. It didn't miss for me, but it was very close to a miss.
That's fair. I agree. I thought visually, especially when there was almost like a pull away shot, because this planet he's on is tiny.
Yeah.
And there's this pull away shot of them having this big epic battle, Mighty Thor, aka Jane Foster, Mighty Thor and Valkyrie, fighting, and Thor fighting, Jesus, I forget his fucking name, Gore. And there's projectiles looping this little planet, and I think it was like the coolest fucking thing. The way the color was slowly reintroduced to that was really cool. I'm glad we're on the same page. I mean, I did like Jane Foster, but maybe I'm just a sucker for Thor's never had a good romance, and I think the fact that he's always kind of it's just been her. That's it. He's not banging multiple women. He's a one man show, and he should be. God damn it, because Natalie Portman's a fucking goddess among men. So when Ragnarok came out, when anybody asked me about it, I said I like that movie. It was very good. I said a little too many jokes, and everyone went, what? And they made me like I was this old curmudgeon who didn't like funny things, and I'm like, no. What I mean when I say too many jokes is, I mean that Odin died and faded away, and less than 30 seconds later, Loki made some stupid fucking joke to Thor, and I was like, what? Yeah. Like, just the tonal shift of like, okay, sure, you can have a second to sit with this, but we got to get to the next thing. We got this show coming up. It's going to be really good. And I love Taika. We've talked about it extensively. I like Taika Waititi. I love Taika Waititi. He has made some of my favorite things of all time. But I feel like both of his Thor movies, this one more so, I think, than Ragnarok, but both of his Thor movies have been like, okay, I know that you're really pushing this Thor movie to be a comedy because, let's face it, Thor is a silly superhero. Yeah. So the best way to handle him is the way that they're handling him. And it really works for Hemsworth because he's got great comedic timing.
Yeah, he does.
But I just feel like there's a couple, like if just let Chris Reed take a pass at the script. I know you guys think you know what you're doing, but let Chris Reed from Southern New Jersey take a crack at it.
Chris, take a look.
And I'll fix it for you. I'll make it better. His pacing in both those Marvel movies, and maybe it's just because they have so much to do in those movies, it just feels like a little too quippy constantly for me, and it does detract. And I'm not saying get rid of the jokes. I'm not saying turn it into BVS. Like I just a pairing back slightly. Mm-hmm. Take out a joke here, a joke there. Like leave the majority. Yeah, I don't know. It was fun. So the screaming goats got funnier every single time I heard them. Every single time I heard them. Incredible. They started off funny, and by the time the last one I heard, I was like crying because
you'd think it'd get old, but it didn't.
No, every time I heard them scream into frame, it was fucking that much funny. I was laughing thinking about it in the car on the way home. My favorite thing by far in the whole movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Russell Crowe as Zeus was a sight to behold. Yeah, his fucking the Greek accent he used or whatever the fuck that was. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. I'm not mad that I went. I'm not mad that I paid money
happy to
for
have
it.
watched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely a little mid.
Happy for the beach I got, all good things.
Yeah, happy to give it. Happy to provide.
happy to give it to you. Yeah, it was a great time. Would recommend. It's not movie of the year, but it was a good time. That's all I got.
That's it, baby.
That's it, baby.
Another episode wrapped.
Yeah, we were gonna. We said we were gonna watch Men for this week, and then we just didn't. So you deal with that. How about that?
I've heard that that's a really fucking weird movie, and
I have too.
Really excited to watch it. So we should definitely have that on for next week. When
you told me last night, you were like, "Oh wait, I'm sorry. I gotta keep up the illusion we don't talk outside the podcast." Right. when you told me end of last week, no, I'm just kidding. When you said last night that you hadn't watched it, and you were like, so we'll need like another day. And I was like, well, we just saw Love and Thunder. I really want to get that review out. Yeah. Also, I forgot to watch it too and was going to watch it last night. And I was like, but I wasn't really in the mood for the kind of weird fucking movie that it looks like it is. I was like, this is going to harsh my whole fucking vibe tonight. I'm going to be looking at the fucking shadows in my house differently. So we have a whole nother week to watch it now. Whole nother week.
Another week.
Something cool comes out this week. Is it What We Do in the Shadows?
It is. Yeah, I think it is actually.
Is it like tomorrow?
I think it be. I think it's pretty soon, Wednesday. I think
it is What It Do, What It Be.
Okay, we'll watch some shit. We'll watch some shit. Check some shit.
July 12th, baby, tomorrow.
Oh, okay, nice.
Baby. All right, cool. So we'll figure out what next week's gonna be. It'll probably include Men, and some other things.
At least 2 men.
Oh, okay. I like that chick. Way in there. This has been episode 75, a Sloppy McDonald's. Where can everybody find you, Derry Show?
Pretty much just on Twitter at Dr. Gloom MD. That's DRGLOOMMD.
You spoke through me. I was a conduit.
That's right.
I was a come do it. Come do it. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at TCN Plays, although I haven't been streaming shit lately. I am going to be streaming again soon. Mm-hmm. I'm actually, the game I talked about earlier, Deliver Us the Moon, I'm actually going to stream that because I figure it could be cool. Yeah. It could backfire. Could backfire horribly. The next time we Monster Hunter Rise It Up, I'm probably going to stream that too because it was a good time.
Yeah, twas.
You were my game guide. You were my game genie, if you will. Could have made that joke when we were playing. And I like that. I like demanding answers of you that I know you don't know for laughs. So yeah, works out well for me. I also, I think I told you this, but I basically settled on the bow, mouse, and keyboard.
Very nice. Very good.
It's the way to go.
I'm going to switch it up. I'm tired of great swords. I'm going to do something different. I don't know what yet. I think I might look up what is it called? The charge glaive or whatever, gun glaive thing. I'm going to look up a little guide.
Insect glaive?
And no. The gun blade thing.
Literally the gun blade.
Yeah.
I think it's called.
And
I was going to look up. So that night we got them playing. I literally demoed every single weapon.
Really?
And because if you do it in the little training arena area, they tell you some of the moves.
Right.
So it's like a nice little tutorial thing. Mm-hmm. And the charged blade is just very complex. Like there's a build up mechanic. It's basically a build up and a spend, almost like a World of Warcraft rotation that I was a little tipsy at that point. Yeah. I just was not ready to dive into. But I think once I get tired of bow, which is going to happen because it's pretty simple as far as weapons go. Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to make the dive, watch a YouTube video, and just put my dick in that charge blade. You know,
that thing puts out some damage, is my understanding.
If you wield it correctly, and that's the thing. It's like sure, you might be able to handle that rotation against a dummy, but when you're chasing down like a monster, who's like evading you and you're missing shit all the time, like it's probably going to be really tough to pull off well. So looking forward to it. Anyway, next week.
See you then.
Ta-ta for now.